الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
الحمد لله رب العالمين الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته ومنتهى علمه وجميع ما شاء وخلق وذرى وبرك عالم الغيب وشهادة الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون أما بعد فيقول الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Alhamdulillah, after praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and sending peace and blessings upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we begin by mentioning a surah that I'm pretty sure all of you know. The surah is called Al-Asr, or the time. And Allah begins by swearing by it. Allah begins by swearing by it. Wal-Asr. Allah takes an oath by time periods. And it's something extremely important that we need to take a note of when we read the Quran. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala swears by something, you should know that that thing is important. For believers, for Muslims, the only thing we can do when we take an oath or we swear by something is by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now there's ways to do it. You could swear by the Lord of the Kaaba. You could swear by Allah. You can swear, but we don't take an oath or we don't swear by anything other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No, it's almost become a fad. Now people swear by other than Allah. You know, on my kids or on this, on that. Muslims don't do that. We swear by Allah and Allah only. And we don't throw around our swears. It's not recommended that you say, Wallahi all the time. I swear by Allah. An oath is something serious. See, in Islam, when you say something, that's it. But if you say something and you add to it, you swear by something on it, that's really something special. So we shouldn't get into a habit of always swearing. Wallahi, I swear. We shouldn't do that. Unless it's extremely important. Now, if you're the type of person that, in order for people to believe you, you have to swear, that says something about you. That people assume that you're lying unless you say you swear by Allah. So Allah swears by time. And there's a lot that can be extracted from that. Well, we shouldn't play with time. We shouldn't waste it. We shouldn't play games with it. But Allah says, "Wal asr, innal insana lafi khusr." Verily, so he swears by time, and then he says, "Inna," he certifies, he verifies. This is very emphatic speech. Mankind is in a state of khusr. Mankind is lost. That's the rule. Khusr. At a deficit. Shot out. Messed up. This is most of mankind. And Allah swears by this. This should teach us another point. The fact that everybody's not going to be right. The majority of people aren't always going to be on what's right. And this is what Allah says in the surah that I'm pretty sure most, or not, if not all of us know. Most of mankind is in a state of loss. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except those who believe. This is the istithna, the exception to the rule. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except those who believe. You brothers and sisters are the exception. Don't take it lightly. You know, a lot of times we take something for granted. We don't appreciate something unless and until it's taken away from us. And some of us, we still don't appreciate it after it just gets taken away from us. But Allah just swore by time, and He said most of mankind is lost. Most of humanity is shot out. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, except those who believe. And you're the believers. You're the exception. You believe in what? You believe in Allah. With all of the prerequisite conditions. You don't believe that Allah is like His creation. You don't believe that Allah is inside of His creation. You don't believe that Allah is restricted by His creation. You don't believe that Allah is in a place. You believe that Allah is above and beyond all of that. You don't believe that Allah takes the form of any of His creation. You believe that Allah is the only God to be worshipped. This is what made you a believer. When you say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, that you bear witness that there is no God but Allah. Even in that statement, it's the same, a similar formula. La ilaha, there is no God. You rejected and denied and debunked every concept or every possibility that there could be a God, illallah, except Allah. You're the exception. You did that consciously. You believe in Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You believe that he is the perfect man. Insanul Kamil. He is perfect. Even his mistakes were done to teach us a lesson. You believe that every human being is beneath the rank of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This is what you believe. You are the exception. People make prophets every day here. Someone say something real deep, real wise that he stole from someplace else, he's a prophet. Someone makes enough money, he's a prophet. He's an apostle. He's a messenger. They're giving out prophethood like free cheese around here, but not you. You're the exception. Every one of us, our character is judged based upon how we measure to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're the one who thinks like this. You're the exception. believe in Allah's books that He sent down, culminating with the Quran. You're the one who uses the Quran as your litmus test. You're the one that believes that the Quran is perfect and that Allah revealed other books. You're the one that believes in the prophets and messengers that came before Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You believe in 124,000 prophets that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah sent. 313 of whom are or were prophets. Most of them, obviously, we don't know their names, but we know a few of their names, and we believe in them. You have that belief. Other people arbitrarily believe in prophets and messengers when and how they feel. They reject certain prophets because they weren't from their tribe. Not you, you're the exception. You believe in Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and all the previous Anbiya, regardless of what tribe they were born in. You're the exception. Some people, their asabiya, their tribalism and racism prevented them from believing in the men or man that Allah sent. You don't have that problem. You're the exception to the rule. You believe in the angels. This is a part of our belief system. You believe that Allah has dispatched unseen beings to carry out different functions. You believe that. Not everybody believes that. And many people that do believe it, they have strange understandings of these creatures. Sometimes they can get drunk and come down to earth and do all types of wild, animalistic and human things. Some people's belief about angels. You don't have that belief. You're the exception. You believe in the hereafter. It's part of our belief. You don't believe that once you die, it's over with. You believe in very specific things that are going to take place. In fact, some of our scholars have even written books of history that include the end of time. Wait a minute, how do you write a history book and then it includes stuff that didn't happen yet? Because the Prophet ﷺ told us about it. Allah and His Messenger told us about it. So we can have intelligent conversations about things that we didn't experience because of what was related to us. We can talk about things that take place in the grave. We can talk about the day of judgment. We can talk about heaven and hell. We can have conversations in detail about these things. And you believe. You're not making these things up as you go along. You're the exception to the rule. You believe in Allah's qadr, His divine decree. You have that belief. You believe in its good and its bad. You don't get upset and have a problem with Allah when something bad happens to you. Why did Allah do this to me? Why did Allah take the life of this person that I love so much? Why did Allah, make this happen and make that happen? I hate God. We don't say stuff like that. Because we know and understand that part of Iman or part of belief is tu'mina bil qadrihi khayrihi wa sharrihi. Belief in His qadr, belief in Allah's decree, it's good and it's bad. Not only the good, but it's good and it's bad. You have this in your belief system. You know that this is life. Life is a prison. Prison is not good. You know that your real home is in the next life. You're doing as the Prophet ﷺ told Abdullah ibn Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhuma. He said, "Kun fi dunya ka'anaka gharib aw abir as-sabil." Be in this life as if you're a stranger or traveler making your way. You understand that? So you don't lose all hope and lose all faith because one or a series of bad things happen to you. You are the exception. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin wa afdalu salatu wa tamu tasneem ala sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. ورضي الله تعالى عن السادة التابعين وعلماء العاملين وأئمة الأربعة المجتهدين والمقلدين إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد. والعصر. By the token of time. إن الإنسان لفي خسر. Most of mankind is lost. The exception, إلا الذين آمنوا, except those who believe. وَعَمِلُوا صَالِحَاتِ, and do righteous actions, do good deeds. You're the exception to this rule. Mankind being lost, being shut out, being finished, operating in a deficit. You're the exception. Because not only do you believe and you think you're better than everyone else because you believe, but that belief translates into action. You don't think that you got a memo, an email, a text, a Facebook message from Allah telling you that you're in Jannah. I'm straight because I believe I'm good. I ain't got to do nothing else. Let me just kick back. That's not you. You continue to do good, righteous actions. You have to believe everybody's not doing that. Think about that. Think about what the Shahada implies. And you openly say, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. And you stand on that. People not doing that. Even if you tally up all of the Muslims on earth, they're still a minority, they're still an exception. Even if they say, wow, it's 1.5 or 1.3 or whatever the number is now, you're still an exception. And then after believing, what do you do every day? You wake up before the sun rises. And you purify yourself and you pray. People are not doing that. People get up and go to work. You get up when nobody sees you except the people in your household and you worship Allah. You're the exception. A lot of times we've been doing this for so long, we don't appreciate what we're doing. And this is not to make us arrogant, because again, who's the measuring stick? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You're not going to outdo him. You're making 5 prayers. Sometimes you messing up your money to make salah. People are not doing that. Most people are messing up their salah to make money. You are messing up your money to make salah. People not doing that. You're the exception. Sometimes we're working and we know a little bit of Islam, so we wear hot leather socks, kufs, in the summer. Just so to make our purification for our prayer easier on us. You just wipe over the top, you got to put our feet in the sink in front of all these people. You don't have to answer no questions, just do it kind of inconspicuously. Prayer. You're doing all that because you're thinking about prayer. What other people are like that? You're the exception. You pay the zakat. No, not just regular charity. You're paying the zakat. You're measuring your wealth. And you're giving a certain amount away for the sake of Allah. And not the stuff you don't care about. Not some more raggedy clothes you don't wear no more. Not some more food that you don't want. You give the best of your wealth. And you measure it the way Allah says measure it, and you give that away. No one's doing that. Some people are doing it. But you're the exception. Ramadan is coming. After this Jumu'ah, we got one more Jumu'ah. Then after that, we'll be in the Ramadan before the next Jumu'ah. And most of you think, I've been Muslim for 5, 10, 20, 30, 50 years. What's the big deal? Talk to people. Explain to them that you're going to be fasting. It's more than the daylight hours. It's from the crack of dawn, which is before daylight, to right after sunset. Most people will be like, what? You can't even drink water? No water. Why not? They act like you're a superhero, like you take it for granted. They're looking at you either like you're crazy or you're Superman. Or there's a movie coming out that came out last night. You one of them characters, right? You got special powers. How can you go all this time and not put nothing in your mouth? That's not normal. Exactly. You're the exception. And why are you doing it? For Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I haven't even added up the hours, but it's most of the day. Probably something like 17, 18 hours. No eat, no drink. Not even water. And most of us are going to be doing it with ease. And some of us are going to be working in the sun doing it. And people look, how can you do that? Do it because we do it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're the exception. Some of us have made and some of us are going to make, bi'idhnillah, we're going to make Hajj. Hajj to the house of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now back during the good old days when transportation wasn't that fast, the journey itself was the hard part. Over land, over sea, taking months and sometimes years just to get to Mecca Mukarramah, just to do some rituals. The journey was hard. Now, the journey is easy. When you get there is hard, and it's expensive. I don't even think they have Hajj packages below $5,000 now. When I first took Shahada, the deluxe package was $5,000. Now you're getting into $10,000 and $12,000 for Hajj. And many of us are doing it for the sake of Allah. When other people have that type of money, they go on vacation. They go to Paris. They go to Paris, the south of France. They go to the Maldives. They go somewhere that's connected with luxury and spending time. You get that money, you make pilgrimage a difficult journey. You make Hajj. Nobody does that. You're the exception. Most of us, human beings, when we want to satisfy our needs, we just get with a man, we get with a woman. What's the big deal? No, we go through this red tape and jump through these hoops to get married. Then there's conditions to the marriage. And it's fairly easy, but again, you're the exception. Nowadays, the time period in which we live, zina, fornication, and adultery is in style. Everybody's doing it. What's your problem? But no, you're the exception. You have to think about this. Watawasaw bil haqq. See, we mentioned two of the four criteria that Allah mentioned in this surah that makes you the exception to the rule. And the rule is what? Most of mankind is lost. The first exception, you believe in Allah. Second, you do righteous deeds. Third, you command or you enjoin or you encourage people towards the truth. See, the first two really got to do with you personally. Between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But you don't stop there. you're the exception to the rule. You're not selfish. It's just not just about just you. You call other people to the truth. You're a beacon of truth. When people want the truth or they want to know what's right, they look for you, whether they want to consciously admit it or not. You're the exception. When everyone is corrupt, when everybody's in it for themselves, when everyone is in it for this reason or that reason, when people want the unadulterated truth, they go to who? You. What to us all this summer. And number 4, you adhere and you command to patience. Patience. Patience don't mean you just sit and wait. I'm patient. No, patience means that you continue to do what's right, even though you don't see the outcome that you're working for right away. You still keep doing the work. And when you're doing number 1, 2, and 3, especially number 3, when you call people to the truth, you're going to have patience. Because people are not going to like that. Why? Most people are in loss. So you coming with the truth, people are going to have a problem with that. And they're going to try to do things to harm you, to dishonor you, to dehumanize you, and you have to be patient with that. Why do you think the boogeyman now is the Muslim? Because of these things. People, non-Muslims, have killed thousands of other non-Muslims just to blame it on the Muslims, just to give an excuse so they can attack them. So the Muslim thing. This is a very old military tactic. It was even used during the time of the first generation. Would you attack somebody and you hide your hand? You make it look like someone else did it. You are the exception. You are exceptional. You may not see yourself like that, and which is good that you don't see yourself like that. Because, again, you're comparing yourself to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, and he made it look easy. The Sahaba made it look easy. We're nothing when we measure ourselves compared to them. But nevertheless, you still are the exception. And what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said about this exception, he said, "Bada Islam gharib." Islam began as something strange. Sakama udu bada gharib. And it will return, Islam will return back to the same way that it started, as being something strange. Fatuba lil ghuraba. He said, give glad tidings, or there's glad tidings for the stranger. Tuba, the scholars differ on what that word means. But for me, just to summarize, it's all the same to me. Some of the ulama said Tuba is a tree in Jannah. Some of the scholars say Tuba is a place in Jannah. Some people say Tuba means like glad tidings, because it's like the word tayyib, like good, glad tidings. Some people say that it is Jannah. Alhamdulillah, it's all good for me, because whichever one it means, the bottom line is you in Jannah. Tuba lil ghuraba, glad tidings for the strangers. You're the exceptional ones. You're the strangers. You need to bask and enjoy and appreciate the fact that you are the stranger. Don't try to be like everyone else. You're on the right track. Just hold firm to it. Just buckle down. Just make sure that you're adhering to those 4 things that Allah says that we all know, but maybe we've been saying it so long that we didn't even think about it. Be amongst the strangers, the exceptional ones. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adhaban nar.